Hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to work on creating research questions, or also known as the statement of the problem. Let's get into the video. What are the main ideas when we talk about research questions? So research questions are also known as statement of the problem. Because research format is political, some of the papers that you might see is that they put it research questions, and then others would put it a statement of the problem. Now, if a research is a body of work, the skeleton of your research is the research questions, or known as the SOP. The SOP would give you the focus of the following. What is your research all about? So it gives you the focus. Then what is the method you will use? When people, especially when experienced researchers, read the statement of the problem, they already know what method are you going to use, and then what data you will collect. Remember, a research question would like to have a data to be collected. So not directly to the people, but what are the general data that you want to collect. So I'm going to give an example later of what are those data, or there will be another video. If you watch the other video, you would know what are the kinds of data that we're looking at. So the SOP, or the statement of the problem, has variables. So the variables are your keywords of the study, and these are the things that you want to collect, because that's why you're asking it the question, and that would be what would be the answer. Normally, these questions the data that you would like to collect from your respondents, or from the experiences that you need to work out. Now, when we talk about variables, traditionally there are independent variables. Way back before, if the research are working, um traditionally they look at the independent variable, and then they give it they want to see those things. However, those are the previous works, or like there are more on a quantitative approach. The quantitative approach really want to have the independent variable, especially if the research is about causality, or like what we call the cause and effect. They really want to look at the independent variable. However, in the present time, it has different approaches. Normally, mostly independent variables. So in a qualitative, those are things that they want to get idea or the understanding. Remember in the previous videos, if you watch the video, a quantitative research would like to generalize the data, because you have a lot of data, and then you want to generalize this data at a certain sample size that would represent the population. While when you look at now the qualitative data, you want to understand the certain phenomenon or experiences of your respondents. That's why those are independent, and you want to go on the patterns, or searching for the ideas, or understanding the certain phenomenon. Why does it happening? What are the causes? You might get that in a qualitative. Now, another thing is that when they're using now independent variables, they are looking as well as correlational study. When you say correlational study, like two things, we'd like to get now the relationship, but that's not causal. Like for example, the performance in math versus the performance in English. So you check now there, because they're independent when it comes to academic performance. So there are, you can get the relationship, but they cannot tell which one is the cause of that performances. So you want to get the relationship. Now, another thing that when you look at that, the study of statistics is needed for the independent variables, even though in qualitative. However, it is really evident in the quantitative research that statistics is really needed. That's why in your math class, or like in a quantitative approach, statistics is really there. We begin with descriptive statistics, or just merely counting, or like representing a certain number of population. And then you need to understand the nature of your data, Sometimes the data cannot be used on a more advanced. When we say advanced statistics, you look at now the inferential. When you say inferential, you're checking or testing a hypothesis or a guess that there are things that are different, statistically different, because sometimes, like when you compare two numbers like 3.1 and then 3.75, you would say that 3.75 is higher and 3.10 is lower. However, when you compare that in statistical manner, They're just when you do an inferential testing, the 3.10 and 3.75 do not have a difference. So which means they are statistically the same. However, sometimes the 2.11 and then 2.12, and then when you test that statistically, it tells you, and then the result tells you they're statistically different. You could say that they are different. Those are things that statistics could answer. That's why when it comes to independent variable, when you're working with quantitative, you consider now your statistics. And those are things that we will learn in the in the coming sessions of the GRS for JHS. Now, at this point, how to start now working with your research questions or statement of the problem. First thing to do is to decide on your topic because the topic would be your springboard. And remember, if you have your topic, you go with your issue, interest, or your motivation. Why you need to do that? So, know your issue, interest, or who got or motivation that is related to your topic. And then check the focus, which will be your variables. Remember, that's why you need to read and read because there are specific things. Remember, a research is a scientific process or a scientific creation where you need to be specific on what are the things that you're studying. And then you decide on your method. Remember, in this program, we only do if you are on a quantitative or qualitative approaches or like method. So that's how you start now a research. At the next part of the video, I'm going to give you an example of what's the difference between a quantitative and qualitative in one topic because that will be your activity after watching this video. Now, if you work out with what we call the research problem, I have there an example which is the coffee culture. And then I look at now the issue because I really want to get now what are the benefits of the coffee when it comes to the students of the junior high school. So I work out with the qualitative and then the quantitative SOP or research question. Look at this one. I make it bold, what we call the variables. And then these variables, we will continue this project working on your statement, working on your research objective. Then after working with your research objective, we're working with the conceptual framework. But as of now, the focus of this video is to let you see how to work on with your qualitative and quantitative research question or statement of the problem. Now, let's go and focus on your qualitative SOP. So the first one is what is the live experiences of the students in consuming coffee in school? Now, the data that you want to collect is the live experiences. And then from the live experiences, you analyze that. That's why the important thing is that you know what data would you collect. So those are the questions when you're working on your consultation. What's the data you want to collect? And then next, because there are some questions that are good for your interview or for your data gathering, but not good as your research question. Now, look at this one. What are the insights of students with the coffee culture in school? However, there are some problem with this one. I might ask the person that did this one, what do you mean by coffee culture? That's why you need to get in the support of what do you mean by coffee culture. That's why it's important as well to put a definition of terms in your research because that's how you define things in your research. That's why those are also strategy when it comes to your presentation. And then if the people that are looking at your paper ask you, you check that you can answer them. You can verify the meaning of copy culture in your definition of terms. And then the last SOP normally in educational research, we want to look at now what would be your impact or your contribution after doing the research. Now, these are the things that you want to create, which is when I read this one, what information material can be created to establish the benefits of coffee in school. So, the output or the solution that you want to get in, remember my issue is about the benefits of the coffee, is the informational material. When you say informational material, it is very objective. Sometimes the information could say there are no benefits of coffee for student in school. So it could be a negative information from them, but make sure that it's objective. But it would be supported with your research that you have gathered the data from the lived experiences and the insights. So that's how you work on with qualitative. Now, let's go with quantitative. The quantitative has a different sense. However, it would work with what data would you like to collect? Now, look at this one. When you talk about now quantitative, I got four. This one I got three, but let's look at one at a time. The first one is what we call an independent variable, which is demographic. No. If I'm not mistaken, here in this case, yeah, this is the independent variable because these are the variables that really defining of the students of the junior high school, which is the grade level allowance or economic profile. They use normally economic profile and then coffee consumption. So you in my idea of the coffee consumption is like 1 cup a day or 1 cup per week. It depends upon the survey material that you're going to use on what would be the parameter or looking at that. So these are independent and those are things. Now, this is also independent, which is the level of coffee experience. Now, this is again will be questioned by your might be questioned by your panel or the people that are reading or the people that are going to watch your presentation. What do you mean by coffee experience? You go define that because you have read something about coffee experience. These are the component of coffee experience. There are a lot of things. It could have now a sub-variable. Remember, demographic profile is your variable, and the sub-variable are grade level, allowance, and then coffee consumption. I wasn't able to read something about coffee experience. That's why I wasn't able to put a sub-variable. But make sure on the next when you did this one, you need to have a sub-variable so that it's much clearer for the reader to look at now the sub-variable of coffee experience. So you're now getting now their level of coffee experience. If they're satisfied, very satisfied. It depends upon the scale that you're going to use and then the interpretation of it. Remember the level? It when you talk about level, it could have now an idea of high, low, or very low experience. So you could have now an evaluative research on that. And then this is part of the what we call the inferential. That's why statistics is really needed when it comes to your research. Look at this one. Is there a significant difference in the level of cough experience? Remember, it was joined. Remember here, the main variable in SOP3 is a significant difference. However, it was combined by the demographic profile and level of cough experience. So you don't need, if there are questions that is there a significant difference in relationship, those are inferential questions where you need to test now the first two variable if they have relationship or if they have differences. Now, what does it say? So if you have now the level of coffee experience, you compare now the grade level. So grade 7, grade 8, grade 9, grade 10. Are they the same or they are not the same? That is the meaning of SOP number 3. When it comes to allowance, if the allowance is from 0 to 100, 101 to 150, to 200, and then 200 to 300, you check now if they have differences when it comes to the concept of it. And then the coffee consumption, if there are people that are once a week, twice a week. So those are the things that you look at that or every day you can now compare those things. So you will work out if they are statistically different or statistically the same. And now looking at it on the last SOP, the recommendatory or what we call the output or to make an impact of your research, we have the same SOP, the last SOP, which is what informational material can be created to establish the benefits of coffee in school. So now, the supporting for this one are quantitative or like the data with numbers. This one are the data with quality or understanding the lived experiences and insights. So those are the things that you could work out. I hope it makes sense with this one. So these are the things that you need to do when working with your research. And then following on the next video, from this SOP, we're going to create now our objective and then our conceptual framework. I hope you learned something about creating now research question or what we call statement of a problem. Remember to decide on your topic and then know your issues, interests, and then your motivation or what we call the who got. So that it's much easier for you to look at and then read, especially when there are terms that you're using because it might be verified to you by the panel or the people that are reading or people that you get a consultation about it. And then after reading, you make a format on how to look at now what are the data that you want to collect. mostly people are starting researcher, they do a data gathering question. What I mean of data gathering question is like the interview question or the survey question is the thing that they thought those are the research question. However, those are different things. Research question and interview question or survey questions are sub elements of the research question. Those are what we call the material that you will collect on a more for the respondent. But the question, the research question is the thing that you will answer in your paper. I hope you would learn something with this video. Thank you for watching and have a great day, everyone. And then make sure to do your activity after this video. Thank you very much.